Hi, this is Dave from Global AV Sales. Just doing a run through here on the cerasonar invisible loudspeaker range from Germany. To give you a little background, cerasonar is a family-owned business from start to finish, originated by Ulrich Kranke, who is still heavily involved in the business, but now also has his two sons involved. Konstantin is now pretty much running the joint from what I understand, and Julius is running some of the production and warehousing facilities. And then, of course, I believe also we're now dealing with daughter-in-law running the marketing side of business. We, Global AV Sales, look after the international sales aspect of the business. And so this is a bit of a run through for you just on what the ranges offer. And we're going to start with what we call the Fit series. The Fit series is designed as a entry-level background music, easily retrofittable style speaker. They're really good for light commercial type jobs where background sound is all you're looking for, a little bit of background music. Ideally, you would always run a woofer with these, a subwoofer with them, so that you get a full range. But they are a very versatile speaker in that they are also weatherproof. So you could put them into a bathroom type scenario as a single stereo output on the 2525 unit as an example, or put a couple of the 1520s in. You can put them into saunas, just basic wet areas for some nice background music. The idea also, as I say, is retrofittable, which means that they are very, very easy to just cut out a square hole into your plasterboard and then get your speaker wires and connect them. And on the speaker itself is like a paper wrap that you can hold onto as like a handle, and you can feed the speaker into the back, pull it forward into place, and then screw through the plasterboard so that they go into these four black lugs you can see. And that's it. Your speaker is installed. All you then have to do is plaster over the top. When it comes to plastering over these speakers, we highly recommend doing the gap filling with a rubber-based filler. And the reason for that is just to eliminate any tiny small possibility of any cracking due to fatigue over a long period of time. The rubber-based, like a Knauf type fill, will eliminate that problem. Then you can, of course, plaster over all of these speakers. Up to a 3mm depth of plaster will make no difference to the sound at all, which is very, very cool and also quite uncommon compared to many. So that's the Fit series. The beauty of these is for the light commercial, we also offer a 100-volt version. So when you're running multiples of speakers on a 100-volt system, really easy, just order them as a separate 100-volt line system. Then we go to the more standard series, what we would call the reference. This is actually the biggest selling range in the cerasonar products. The reason for that is that they are a very, very sweet sounding speaker. Just a really clean, crisp vocal, just more of a hi-fi type style sound, much more so than many other invisible speakers on the market, I think, but that maybe is personal bias. Two different sizes, and the 4062, literally that is 40 centimeters by 62, or the 6062. Just a slightly bigger sound out of the 6062. As the panel goes bigger, the sound gets slightly bigger. Again, we would recommend the use of a woofer. And if you're not using the cerasonar amplifier, then you also would need to use a protection unit, which we will go into further on down the track. The beauty of the amplifiers is that they are DSP with all the preset crossovers and limiters built in. But again, we'll talk about that later on down the track. After the reference series comes the architect series, designed very much around the sound quality of the reference, but with a very shallow mounting depth. These are only 30mm mounting depth, which allows for installation into a thinly skimmed wall in a concrete construction as an example. So yeah, very versatile for that more modern concrete enclosure building. Then we also have the subwoofer in the Architect series, which is a completely hidden away decouple mounted subwoofer. So you can actually mount the framework onto a really solid structure, which will decouple from everything else. Once the subwoofer is fitted in, it's just bolted into place and it becomes a completely decoupled unit, which is very cool. Vented, comes with the pipe, and then the pipe outlet goes into the room, which is a 8.5 centimeter outlet, completely flush with the ceiling, so you can run a grill cloth over the top of it if you wanted to, or something like that, just to try and tidy up that look. Then we go to the Reference Pro. This is really designed to give you just a bigger power output. So very similar to your Reference in terms of sound, but with bigger output performance. The reason behind this is really that it's ideal for a home cinema style installation. So if you're in a lounge scenario and you want, say, a 5.1 system but completely hidden, you can do that with this system. So the 120/30, as an example, is an ideal center channel, which you could put above or below a TV installation. You then have like the 60/62 panel, which is a very high output, really big, high SPL and sound from it, either side of the screen. Or in smaller rooms, you could put the 40/62 either side of the screen. And then again, use 40/62s as rears, add a subwoofer, and you have a full 5.1 surround system, which is a pretty cool sort of sound. If you've never experienced it, I would highly recommend having a go. We then have a new series called the Ultimate Series. Now, the idea behind this is an all-in-one speaker. These are the only ones that do not need protection on them because they're a complete full-range speaker with a separate pistonic driver. The benefit of this is that you can just put them on any amplifier, or of course with the cerasonar DSP amplifier as well, which gives you probably the best output, again because of the fact that it's tuned for it. But you don't need separate protection units on these. There is a compromise on the sound output, so you don't get the same sweet, crisp vocal that you do, not quite at least, that you get on the Reference and Architect and Reference Pro series, but it is a complete full range speaker. Really cool. Two different options, 40/80, which is a slim and tall, or the 90/62, which is a slightly wider and slightly taller unit for a bigger output. As mentioned, we do have subwoofers. Highly recommend the subwoofers with all of the speakers. The Architect sub, which we've already mentioned, and then we have three different subwoofers that are really just about size. So the 133/62 is the largest of them with a big output. This would probably be the ideal for your larger roomed home cinema type installation, or if you're just running Reference Pros and you do like to give it a bit of volume, that's the ideal. The 140, next partner down, still a very, very impressive subwoofer, again for a home cinema usage, not a problem, or if you're more into Reference style music but like a low deep bass. And then the 60/62, which is the newest subwoofer on the range. A smaller panel all around with the driver, but still a very impressive output. This is perfect really for your Reference type series where you're more about the sound quality and you're not really cranking it just excessively, but really, really good options. And all of these subwoofers have presets available in the DSP amplifiers, so it's a very easy setup. We then go to another new series called Concrete. Now, this is designed as an outdoor series. However, I do know of several installations indoors already. So there's three speakers. We have the new Concrete Mini, which is a beautiful round, really nice cylindrical shape. It's a 4-inch, full range, really, really nice sound, especially on the DSP amplifier. Perfect for any weather situation. You've got strip lighting with them as well inside, LED lighting. Really do make your garden something really quite special. We then go to the subwoofer, which when you add the sub with it, even better. Again, with the DSP amplifier, you can configure this so that there's a perfect crossover between the subwoofer and the Concrete Mini to just get this really beautiful, well-rounded sound, which also then does increase the output of the Concrete Mini. So if you're running a reasonably large garden scenario, several concrete minis with a few subs, and you will get really quite an incredible sound. And we have another option, which is the Concrete One, which is a full range speaker. Same concrete square as the Concrete Sub, but a full range driver. So you can run them multiples throughout, a nice modern home or through the garden, whatever you like. These all come in 3 different color options as well. So there is a standard concrete, which you can see. There is a more white color, and then also a dark ebony color as well, which gives you that sort of much darker gray color on the subs. Now, alongside of these, as I've already mentioned, we have the amplifiers. 2 of them, and it's really just about power. So the cerasonar CS500 DSP is a 4-channel amplifier, full built-in DSP, small frame to it, can be put into any sort of installation with just relative ease, to be honest with you. Configuration on both of them is simply plug into your computer, bring up the program, and choose your preset based upon what model speaker you're running. The CS2000 DSP is just a higher output, same DSP built into it, but fully rack mountable. So yeah, something for everybody. Then we also have some interesting accessories, and this is what a lot of people get very confused about, but shouldn't. It's very simple, which is good. We have protection units. So there's 2 different ones. You have the standard protection unit for low output speakers like the Fit series or your Architecture series. But then we have the Pro unit, which is just a higher power handling unit with, and this is the complete protection to ensure that you don't sort of overpower these units and cook them in any way. So these, if you're not using the DSP, are an absolute must to have with your speakers. We also have installation frames. These are used for when you're doing a concrete slab construction or a concrete block construction. So you can actually mount these in to the framing and everything, and then the concrete can be all poured around them so that you have actually got a mounting frame for when everything is set and dried. You've got a perfect frame to actually screw your panel into. Really good solution, really simple idea. We have transformers. Simply let us know which speakers they're for, and we can get them out to you, not a problem. This is the one that I think is probably the coolest that most people don't think about. This is simply a placeholder. So this is the same shape and size of the panels. You choose which ones you want. We recommend that all installers get a full set of several of these placeholders, or make some up of their own beforehand. And the idea behind this is when the framework is up on the house and you've got all your wiring run, simply go in, put these placeholders in place of exactly where you want to put your speakers. You can even tie or cable tie your speaker wires to the back of there, so they're really simple. Then when the jib rockers come in and they run the jib rock wall, they will basically build the wall around these, at which point you can then go in, pull this placeholder out, put the actual speaker into place, allow them then to do their full jib stopping. Full fill, full cover, all sorted. At the bottom here, we've got the back box, which actually we are no longer doing, but I've left that on there purely and simply to show you the basics of it. The idea behind the back box is that it will help absorb sound and stop it going out into the other room. One thing with invisible panel speakers is that they are a dipole speaker, so they go in both directions equally. Whatever comes out of the front of the panel also comes out the back of the panel. So the back box is designed to absorb that and reduce the amount of sound that can transfer into a boundary type room or a room backing onto the wall. We no longer do them, as mentioned, purely and simply because most people have found that it's cheaper, quicker, and easier to build them locally or build them on site. So we can give you, the basics of that, but I think when you look at the panels, you fully understand exactly what's involved anyway. So that is the full cerasonar range. If you have any questions at all, please contact us at globalavsales.com through the website, or you can email us at sales@globalavsales.com. And we would love to have a chat with you anytime, and we look forward to hearing from you.